Yeah, I'm gonna leave them off. I can see the
You
better
do what you
argument.
want. You know what? I could leave mine off if you're going to play that. You know what, Steven? I'll top you, Stephen Gibb.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hey now. Yeah.
That's right. That's right,
You you
Steven.
might-
Not
you
only
you
do
you you can pay extra for those non-reflective lenses.
Welcome to Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And if it is your first time here, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. In the hot seat, we have Stephen Gibb of Kill the Robot and the Barry Gibb Band. We're going to talk about his music and much, much more. And if you enjoyed this episode, join us right here in our Members Only Club or join us in Patreon. Put your comments down below. Give us a thumbs up. Everybody, welcome Mr. Stephen Gibb. I didn't know this, that you were in a band with Nikki Sixx at one time. Is this
I
true?
I was, yeah. It was when I first moved out to Los Angeles, and I was chatting with a friend of mine that was working at I guess what at the time was Fifth Street or Beyond Music with Kovac.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
his offices, and my dad was managed by Kovac back then. And I don't know, I was hanging out, and somebody had mentioned that Nikki was looking for a guitar player for some weird internet concept band that he had in like 99, I think, which was, I guess, way ahead of his time with that. But they asked me if I was interested, and I said, yeah, let me know if there's any type of audition or whatever. There wasn't. I just got a phone call from Nikki, and he told me that I came recommended. I didn't believe it was him. I hung up on him. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I hung up the phone. Like the trick, you hear people talk about this, other musicians. It's like, no, dude, it's Nikki. And I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck you. And I hung up again. And then I think it was the third time that he called back, and he said something like, dude. And I kind of remembered it from the behind the music, like his speaking voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
If my balls were on your chin, where would my be?
I think that's him. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think we got together and wrote a couple times, and then it was a couple of sessions, and it was kind of done. And then I was like, oh wow, like I have a record coming out, and I'm in a band with Nikki Sixx. And it was like I'd already been in LA for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half or so. So it was the first real thing that happened for me. But then shortly after that, Zakk Wylde and I reconnected, I think, at a NAMM show. And we'd known each other since I was about 14, and he was like 17 or 18. So we reconnected because this is like pre-cell phones and all that. So
Yeah.
him and I reconnect, and then we're hanging out and drinking beer, as you do with Zakk Wylde and, that era. And we proceeded to do the Black Label Society thing from there.
So you were you playing bass with Zakk?
I was, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was. I never played the bass really before, except like just picking up, a bass player's bass and fucking around with it. But he was basically, I guess, his attitude was like, well, you know how to play a lot of the stuff anyway on the guitar, and it's just play the root, or play what I played on the record, just learn the record. And I think I went to Guitar Center and bought like a Fender P bass, like $400 or something, and went back to my apartment at the Oakwoods and
I know. Yeah.
cranked up the boombox. And I think that time there was like, an album or so worth of material to learn. And I did that, like, I think in a day and a half, I learned all the tunes, and then we got together to jam, and it went really well. I think that was it. That was my audition. They kind of hung me out for a little while and made me sweat it before they said, yeah, you got the gig. But, it was fun.
Who was in his band at the time?
Original drummer, who I guess some people might know from prior to BLS. He was in a band called Raging Slab, which I think is from up that way.
New York, Raging Slab.
Yeah,
It's a power scene. Yeah.
I love that band. And so Phil was in Raging Slab, and then I think Nick Catanese, he was a Pittsburgh guy. He was already in the guitar, second guitar position, which yeah. And so the guitar spot wasn't really available. The guitar slot wasn't wasn't available. So, Zakk was like, I need a bass player. And I was just like,
Yeah.
whatever, I need a job is kind of how I'm thinking about it. But also, at that time, he was one of my best buds, and I love him to pieces to this day. So
For everybody watching right now, this is Kill the Robot and their song Drug, and we're going to put links to all their videos and their website in our description down below.
And that song is called Summer Days, which is like a little bit more of a, just kind of end of summer anthem, not super dark.
Thanks for watching. That's all we have time for today. But if you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up and also put your comments down below. That was Steve Gibb, and make sure you check out Kill the Robot. Also, if you want to see this episode right now, unedited, check it out in our members only club. Become a member. It supports the channel. Remember, kids, it's only rock and roll, and we like it. And who loves you, baby? We do. We'll catch you all later. But before you go, click on that box that pops up here. You might like something you might see, and you might regret it if you don't see it.